Hello and welcome to part 2 of a color pencil and gray paper drawing. So what we have here is we already finished on part 1, which is the grass. So in part 2 I'm thinking I'll draw like a lake somewhere along this area, and behind there might be a forest. Right, so of course when you're drawing water, you'll get into blues. Of course, water doesn't always have to be blue. If you got a really green drawing, you can actually just have green water. If your drawing is kind of reddish, if it's a sunset, you can have orange or red colored water. And for this one, I think I'll just stick with the normal blues. So let's start with a bit of our aquamarine color and figure out where the stuff would be. Maybe the top of the lake is around here. No, actually, maybe. Oh, let's have some fun. Maybe back here we have a little outcropping where we have maybe a few trees here. And that way we don't have to use as much blue color. We don't have to draw as much lake. Since drawing water is also one of those things that really eats up the pencils. And it's also kind of repetitive since you got a flat surface. Lakes are still water, so the water should be more or less flat. This won't be a large lake, so there won't be too many ripples in there. Alright, so what we want to do is first start with the browns. Now, interestingly enough, with the Prismacolor pencils, the dark brown for the Premier and dark brown for the Scholar series are drastically different. The Scholar series is a much lighter color so this is a Scholar series, and this is the Premier series. So as you can see, the Scholar series is much more it's a much softer brown than the Premier color. But let's use both. So what I'm thinking of is this kind of rocky outcropping area, sort of here. Let's use a bit of a slate gray. It's this bluish kind of gray. We got some rocks in here. Now let's blend that together with the blender. With a blender pencil, you never want to sharpen it fully. All you really need it to be is, maybe like half a centimeter longer than the wood area. Since if you sharpen it too much, you're always pressing really hard onto the drawing with this, right? And so what you don't want happening is you sharpen it too much and then you just snap the tip off. Snapping the tip off means you just wasted, part of your fairly expensive pencil. So try to keep your as sharp as they need to be, but not much sharper than that. Now this brown color, maybe I'll just go up here. And we'll have a bit of grass on top. And then around here, we have this entire grassy plain that kind of just goes up here. So we still have a bit of the brown exposed. Running alongside it, we have a hill of grass. Okay, Okay, this should be about it. Use some Premiere dark brown to just get a bit darker. There we go. Now, this is one of the parts where the Blender works its magic. So right now I have a lot of holes in there, right? But just blend it through, and all of a sudden it looks smoother. Now actually, what you might do is add a bit of black. Black is a very strong color. You don't want to use too much of it or else it'll overpower everything you have. But in a small amount, it'll give you this like kind of darker shadow area. And of course you blend it out using the blender pencil. One thing about black, however, is that if you use too little, the blender pencil will kind of streak the color. So you gotta be careful not to use too little of the black at the same time. There's like a minimum amount of black you should use. Also with the color pencil, or the blender pencil, the blender also applies this kind of waxy layer over what you already had, what you're using it over. So always put your actual color on before you blend it out using a blender pencil, because it might not be as easy to get the color on after, since you're basically running on a layer of wax. Not really wax, I'm not actually sure what the material is. Who knows, it might actually be wax. Now back to the grass colors we used, so dark green, olive green, and apple green. No spring green here. The farther things get away from you, the duller they should look. Also less detailed. But since distances aren't too much over it yet, you're still roughly in the same area. You don't have to worry about alternating our colors too much. We just stop using the brightest colors, which in this case is the spring green. Once again, we use a bit of the white. Try to blend that back a little bit, so it's not just like a line of white. The objective of the white is to make the grass area look a bit lighter, so you can distinguish it from the darker parts. Go over, and now maybe the rest of the grass kind of just goes kind of flop. Eyes run over. Oh yeah, a bit of grass grows over there, kind of overhanging this. Right here, you can actually get a bit of detail in. You'll get a few strands of the grass. Use the darker colors, the dark green, because we're having, sort of like the shadowed underside of the grass. Here. Alright, and this color will continue to build on, since this is sort of like a different ridge almost of grass. Not too dark though. Not too dark. Now actually though, let's take our peacock green, right? Maybe right here we'll drop in a pine tree. So decide where you want your pine tree to be. Kind of work down. Right now we're just kind of looking for the outside shape. So people, when they're drawing pine trees, they often just draw like this stereotypical triangle tree. The pine trees aren't usually actually fat triangles. A lot of coniferous trees are kind of narrow, and there are ones that are really thick, but You should never have it just be a line going down. You have the variations in there. Maybe somewhere branch, fell off or something. But the base should always be a bit thick. Although there are coniferous trees where you can actually see the trunk, right? So let's keep that into consideration. What we have here is a second coniferous tree, another evergreen. Just have it go right down here. This one's farther away, so it's shorter. And now we have the basic outlines of these two trees. So extend the color inwards a little bit. Now, in order to draw a pine tree, what you really need to pay attention to is not the dark areas, but the light areas. The way at least the way that I personally like to get my pine trees is by using white or some other light color to highlight the parts that are being hit by the sun, and the rest of the tree is dark. And so you basically make out the shape of the pine tree through the light areas. Now, since we decided the sun was coming from this side, let's have the back side of these trees be a bit darker than the front side. So we'll just color that right in, and use a bit of black. So since we're going to be blending this with a blender pencil, I don't have to be too worried about the black looking like too flat or anything. So take the blender pencil and blend that through. So as you see, this peacock green has this kind of peacock feathery kind of darkness to it, this blueness, which is why I don't like to use it too much in the grass area, since it doesn't go well with the grass. And let's take a bit of the black and separate the trees behind us. One thing about the blender pencil is that you can actually leave some areas open, roughly, and the blender pencil will allow you to blend the pre-existing color into that open area. And that's the way you can save your color pencils, make them last a bit longer. Once again, we're just blending it through. Our strokes are matching the direction that the branches are going. Let's get a bit of the black right here. There we go. There. And now we'll use the white. And we'll start picking out the highlights on these branches. Choose nothing on the back paper. Make sure you're always drawing on a flat surface. And by using the white, we are using the white to pick out to make it look like there are little branches and more details. And same with the other tree. Now the white, we're only really using it on the side, on the left side, since the light is shining from the side. So this is the only side we actually see the white or the sunlight shine through. Now other colors you can do this with. You can actually also use a bit of the spring green. Give it a bit of the, since the sun's a bit yellow, right? So this isn't a bit yellow, it is yellow. So I think a bit of this, makes the tree look not just purely bluish. Gives a bit of complexity to the tree's color. I personally believe that colors, when you use colors, you should always have a bit of variation in there. Now, down here, you got this dark pine tree, right? So, underneath the pine tree, we got a shadow. Shadow is going to go this way. So, you don't want to go too far down there since the light's shining in there. But it is important to make the area underneath the pine trees look dark. So that's where the shadow is. All distinctions are created by the difference between light and dark. So it's important to have both light and dark in your drawing. The white, these blades of grass, and maybe a bit of white to highlight this earth kind of area, kind of soil. And then we think we're mostly done on this side. Alright, so maybe on this side you'll have like a little bit of outcropping here. Right, we have a bit of outcropping around here where we have some trees. So let's see, once again we'll use the browns. This is a Scholar Dark Brown, the Premier Dark Brown. I also have a Premier Dark Umber. It's a bit of sharpening. It's very similar to the Premier Dark Brown. It's also exceedingly dark. But there should always be a bit of variations, right? So basically, with colors, what you want is several different colors in your soil or your grass or whatever. So we use upwards of 4 colors. Actually use 5. The spring green, the apple green, the dark green, the olive green, the peacock green, the grass. And what that makes it look like is, it makes it not look artificial. Like in nature there's a lot of variation. So you want your colors to reflect that. If you only have 1 or 2 colors, it'll look flat. But at the same time, we don't want too many colors. If you just load every single color you have onto your drawing, your colors are going to look very dull. Because if you mix every single color in the world together, basically what you get is brown in practice. I know white light is a combination of all the sunlights, but some colors of the rainbow, but what you get is brown if you mix too many colors together. Also keep in mind what you have around your drawings. So you have, say, some reddish flowers. The grass around here will also be a bit red, and the flowers might have a bit of green on them because colors reflect. So what I've done here is I just got the basic idea of maybe some land here where we'll have a few more trees, and then the water will keep on going here. Alright, so let's get going. Once again, we have a bit of grass covering it. And maybe the grass will go around here, go up to there. So, right here in the darker areas, we have a shadow. Black, let's use a bit of black. Now with the blacks, it really doesn't matter if you use the Premiere or the Scholar ones. Normally, with most colors, I would prefer the Premiere colors, simply because they're richer in tone. But with black, it's such a strong color in the first place. You're not going to use it much. Anyway, so honestly with black, just go with black, whatever black you have. If you need more black, then maybe then think about buying more colors. But honestly, if you're going to run out of black, you might almost be working on to your next pack of color pencils. I've gone through many whites, many browns, a lot of greens, but I still have yet to get through a full black pencil crayon. The only time you're going to use the black a lot is if all you have is the white paper to work with, since white color pencils don't show up very well on white paper. Now, one of the reasons why I like to use gray paper is because you can use white on top. So, as opposed to white paper, where if you want to leave something really light, you basically don't draw on it. If you want something really light here, you use the lighter colors. So whatever color is lighter than this particular gray. And for me, it just makes it a lot easier to work with the colors. It's a lot easier to put something on than it is to leave something out. Let's just say that. And since we are talking about far away, we don't need as much detail on the grass. Now, actually, one thing you can do with a foreground grass, if you want, is first is take your dark green color, and maybe I want some blades here, right? So I'll just lightly draw a few blades right down there, like individual actual blades. You don't want to sharpen your pencil for this. This is one that I would say you really want a sharp pencil, since you're trying to make distinct blades of grass. Do a bit of this. And it's one of those things that just adds a bit more detail to your drawing. Don't really have to do this, but might make your drawing look a little bit better, I suppose. Of course, never have all your grass growing in the same direction. Then it just looks like a lawn. And always try to work from the bottom upwards. That way, what you'll find is that your stroke will taper to a point at the end, at the top, which is how grass actually looks. Most grasses, at least. There's some, grasses that have seeds or something on top. You know, a little bit like that. Now the base, we don't really want to be too precise with the base of this kind of soil area. So what we want right now is just to make it clear where everything is. Because what we're going to do next is we have water underneath, so use a bit of the brown color and just lightly go over it. And then take whatever color you're going to use for the water. So in our case, we're going to use this aquamarine color. I want a bit of turquoisey mountain blue color, you know, like Moraine in the Rockies, one of the most beautiful lakes in the world. This really vibrant blue. And now what we do is with the glitter pencil and relatively small strokes of the water, you might want to make it a bit darker, I suppose. Actually have some body to it right here. Yeah. And a bit more brown. So what we're going for is a reflection. So, right. And now just going up and down strokes. Always up and down strokes. Straight up and straight down because this is still water. If you go sideways, it gives the illusion that the water is moving in a certain direction. But since this is still water, this is a lake, everything's completely flat. And around the edges, you might have to change the direction, but for the most part, what you want is your strokes to be completely straight up and down. Of course, you get a bit more water, you know, extend it out a bit. Towards the center of the lake, use less color. That way it gives the illusion that you have a area of light where the sun is just shimmering down the middle. So, you know, from here. Now continue putting on a bit of the aquamarine color, although you don't need as much as you get over here. And still up and down strokes. And what this does is, with the brown we put underneath here, it looks as if we reflected these little soily banks into the water. You know, make sure that you still have a clean edge with the ground here. And let's just continue a bit more with this water. In part 3, we will finish up the lake, and we'll start drawing the bank beyond the lake, where we'll probably have a forest of trees and then maybe a mountain in the back. A few more straight up and down strokes. Okay, towards the side. And I think this will wrap up part 2 right now. See you in part 3.